What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at my main man Bonucci, 89 rated, and it's coming up next. So in today's video we are having a look at the 89 rated Carniball Bonucci. He is I think the second by last Carniball card that I've got to do. I believe Pulisic is next. I think that will be coming up today as well, bar from any one SBCs that have happened before recording this video. So let's look at him. Let's think out what you reckon about this card. Well, firstly, the price, 74k, 71k, Xbox, PlayStation. Personally, when I see a card like this at 89 rated, and personally he's only 70k, it makes me think, well, why is he only 70k? Surely, if he is as good as what that card looks, he would be at least, say, 150, 200. Well, personally, a lot of people don't like putting money into centre-backs as much as, say, your attacking players. I think that's self-explanatory. A lot of players think if you put a shit ton of money into the forwards, you're going to get results. But personally, what I've found with this game as well is make sure that you treat your defense like you treat your attack. If you've got just attacking players and say your opponent's done the same, it's going to be a battle of whose defense kills out first, basically. So you want to make sure that you've got the best of the best all around your pitch, and it is the ultimate team for that reason. So what is this card all about? Well, we're going to go into some basic information. We're then going to look at his stats, and then I'm going to tell you my overall opinion of this card. What did I like about him? What didn't I like about him? What's his overall review? Chem style, what's the best one? And what should I do? So we're going to get into that. So basic information: 2-star skiller, 3-star weak foot, right-footed, 6'3", low attacking work rate, high defensive work rate. Pretty bog standard. Love it. It's very much the pure centre back kind of stats right there. Obviously, the weak foot is always a nice thing. Again, I think I said it in Outerwield's video. I'd love to see what a 5-star weak foot would actually do for a defender. Do I notice it? I've never really thought about it, but ever since doing these reviews and really looking in depth in their stats, I've noticed that obviously a lot of defenders don't really go above 4. I think there is a couple, but I can't name them off the top of my head. But I'd love to see if I do notice it in a 5-star skiller. 5-star weak foot, that is. So there's the bog standard information from him. Happy with it. Really, really good. I don't really have any quarries with that. Anyway, attribute time. Personally, looking at the three main stats and then a couple of bonuses on the dribbling and passing. So looking at the bonuses first, you've got 87 reactions, 89 composure. Rate that really much in a centre back. I need him to have the composure to be able to deal with it. The reactions, again, very, very nice. Obviously, I would like a little bit more balance and agility. I think ball control and dribbling are necessarily not as important for that stat for me. But it's always a nice little bonus to have it. Then we move on to the passing. This is realistically how he's going to deal with the game. How is he going to attack with his defensive duties? Is he going to be able to pass it out? Or has he got to always oof it and then potentially invite another attack on? That is what I see in the centre-back. So it's got 77 vision. I think that's pretty average. I don't mind that. It's got 80 short pass. Again, average, but it's definitely workable. 88 long pass. I rate that quite a lot. I want a centre-back personally to just get it out at first. If then he manages to, say, get a clear goal, you do a 1-2 with another centre-back and you kind of through into that, your half of the D as such. Then we look for the long ball. I thought Bonucci actually played some really nice balls to my wingers at this time, because I think I played with him whilst I want to say I had Mertens at this point, or I had someone that was winger related. I can't remember who I had when I had Bonucci, as I did a double for him, and I really enjoyed that. The pace on this card isn't fantastic. I did find him a little bit slow, which is very weird to say. A 65 necessarily isn't very, very low, but compared to a lot of the players in this game, especially a lot of the upgraded players, pace seems to be one that's really hitting home in this game. So we'll talk about that later, because we can deal with that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will know how we're going to deal with that in the future. Then we look at the two main stats that personally tells me what a defender's going to be like. So we've got the 90 defending first, which is incredible. Very, very nice defensive stat there. And then we also have the 83 physicality of this card. So we'll go on the lower rating first. It's got 88 jumping, 86 strength, 85 aggression, and the one that brings it down is 72 stamina. So personally for me, a stamina, realistically, I'm looking for anywhere over 65, I'd say, for a defender. For a centre-back, realistically, they're not going to be doing a huge amount of running as long as you play it clever. If you keep the ball, your centre-backs will always stay fresh. All you want to do is pass it from one end to the other. It's very, very boring FIFA, but it's the way to keep your stamina up. It's to keep the pass going and not knacker your players out. You don't want to always be chasing the ball, and it's a curse because I'm always the same. I always chase the ball, and I don't get why. What you do is just sit back away from him. Don't invite the pressure in too much, but you want to tease it a little bit and then bite. That's personally the best way for me. I'll drop the play. I'll say with Bonucci, I'll take him as an example. I know personally if Mbappe is coming up against me, what he wants to do, he wants me to come straight at him, and then he's just going to run around me. What you do is you drop back, you wait for that heavy touch, and then you pounce. And personally with the defensive stats, snap. He's going to absolutely clatter him, and it's going to be a beautiful challenge. He's then going to pick the ball up, run 10 yards, and then ping the ball over to Ronaldo, who's going to bice it in the top corner. That is how you want to play with this card. You don't want to go pace for pace with Mbappe with this card. He is going to get burnt out clear. So realistically, you want to be clever with this card, and that is how you play with him. You don't want to be running here, there, and everywhere unless you've got someone like Team of the Year, Ramos, Varane, and Van Dijk. They can afford to be jumping in everywhere because they've got the stats to do that. This card, personally, you have to be clever with him. Otherwise, he's just going to be left for dead straight away. And the defensive stats are doing him justifiable. Justification for him? I don't know what I was saying. But 93 interceptions as well as marking, 88 heading accuracy, 88 stand tackle, and 82 sliding tackle. So you want to stand up with him. He does make some good sliding tackles, but I think that's kind of dead in FIFA. It used to be my favourite method. Sliding tackles now, it's only realistically if you know you've got a 100% chance of getting him, because it seems to be that a lot of afters are getting picked up in FIFA 19 that didn't get picked up in games before. I don't know if that's just me thinking that, but I've noticed that every time I slide tackle, even if I remotely touch a player, that's it, I'm getting a booking. So I stay away from slide and tackle pretty much and stay with a standing. And again, it's probably best because you want this guy on his feet. He's not that quick, so you don't want him sliding everywhere and getting burnt out. The 93 marking is very nice. He does stay on his man quite a lot. Interceptions, again, like I said, that is the key stat for me. When it comes to holding your player off and then jumping in, you want to be able to either cut out that pass or cut out that run. So that is what I think he does best. Personally, I'm getting onto the chem stars now, and if you guessed it right, looking at the shadow for him. So personally, I don't really like going and using a shadow hunter or catalyst on a player that has the stat that is 90, 91 or above, but for me, this is the perfect one for him. He gets 77 pace, which is fantastic. It's a 12 upgrade on his pace. And then he gets a 6 upgrade on his defending, which gives him a 96 rated defense. He then has 97 sliding tackle, 93 standing tackle, 93 heading accuracy, and 99 marking and interceptions. For me, that is the big winner for this card. And it's a real mind boggler that this card isn't more. I get that a lot of people look at that pace and think, you know what, it's not usable. But like I said with, I think, the Muller card, you want to play smart with these cards. If you can adapt to them, you can get some cheap beasts, basically. You put him with Chiellini, even go 3 at the back or 5 at the back with, say, Juan Jesus, something like that. Someone else told me how to pronounce that card, and I am so sorry that I haven't listened. But him, you've got Miranda, another really solid card. You've got the, I think what's it, the Champions Moment card, is it? The Manolos card. You've got some really nice centre-backs. Or if you're just going for the standard 4, Chiellini, Bonucci, you've then got the UCL Live Florenzi, and then Alexandro in form. There's a really nice kind of centre-back going here. And then obviously in net, I think you'd have to go with the, I think it's the 3rd in form Donnarumma, 89 rated. You can't really argue with that defence. It's back to the old Serie A that I really grew up and love. So it's very nice to see this card. I think you've definitely got to try him out. He's really not that much money. I'm thinking about buying him when he hits his lowest, probably around about 60 to 70. At the minute, I'm just kind of struggling with a Dybala. I'm looking like I'm losing a hell of a lot on him if he doesn't go back up. So I'm looking to kind of get this one at his lowest, as, to be honest, he'd probably fit into the club quite well. Obviously, he adds a little bit of class to that Serie A defence. And overall, he's not a terrible card. So overall rating for me. Personally, I'm giving him an 8.5. He's not the best centre-back in the world, and I'm not bigging him up to then just absolutely slay him. He isn't going to be the best. You've got so many good centre-backs in this game, and that is what I'm ultimately comparing him to. I'm comparing him to the Ramos, the Van Dijk, the Varane, trying to think of, I've just picked the main three that I've already said. You've obviously got Miranda's quite nice. Chiellini's in form's very nice. You've also got, trying to think of some off the top of my head that I'm just struggling. The Boatengs. Hummels for me is very much similar in the sense of, I believe he's, I'm not gonna say it before I check. Yes, he doesn't have he has the same pace as Hummels. So he plays in the same sort of aspect, and to be honest, his normal Hummels has pretty much the same stats as this 89 version. So you got if you like Hummels, you're probably going to like this card as well. So that's a nice comparison right there. That was a bit of stroke of luck. So try him out. Personally, I think you've got to try him out. Shadow for me is the best chem style to go. I think the pace is needed. Realistically, it doesn't really add too much to his game, but it makes him more usable in my opinion. Foot Champs ready? Probably not. I don't think Foot Champs is ready for this sort of card, just because of the sheer teams that you see. The squads are absolute meta golds. They're ridiculous. Division Rivals, I can definitely see more of him in there. I really think he is enjoyable to play with. It can be frustrating at times, but if you do manage to get that kind of the play style with him, you will start to enjoy this card a lot, and I think he is a very good aspect to put into your team. So let me know down below what you think of this video and what you think of Bonucci himself. Did you rate his normal card, or are you more swung towards this Carnival card? Let me know down below. Make sure you subscribe for more content. We're absolutely booming, and it has been a pleasure to come back and do these player reviews. I've been hitting some really good views on a lot of these player reviews, and I can only thank everyone for it. And I'll see you all again next time. Peace!